Hey everybody, and welcome back for another video. In today's video, we are going over episode 3 from The Bad Batch that is now on Disney Plus. This episode, I believe, was called Replacement or Replacements, one of the two. And there's actually two things that really go on in this episode. We're gonna go dive right into the little summary, and then we'll get into our favorite parts. There's two things that are going on in this episode. One, there's stuff that's going on with the Empire, and two, there's stuff going on with our Bad Batch group. Our Bad Batch group is in hyperspace, and they are heading towards whatever destination they're going towards. And right in the middle of their hyperspace, the ship malfunctions, and they crash land onto a planet, like a random planet. And so they're trying to figure out how to fix the ship, how to get out of there. But there's also creatures out and about lurking around, and they have to figure out, how to deter away from those guys and then eventually leave the planet. Lucky enough, Omega figures out how to take care of those monsters, and they're able to get away, which is very fortunate for them. And they become more family-like. They talk a little bit about Crosshair in their discussions and how they actually miss him and, are kind of hoping that he comes around. They're blaming his problems on his inhibitor chip in his brain. So maybe we'll see something of that come up along the way down the line. That's what's going on with the Bad Batch. Now, what's going on with the Empire? Because we got Tarkin still on Kamino, talking to them about the clones and their transition to different types of troopers. And basically, the person that Tarkin put in charge, I forget his name, he put somebody in charge of overseeing the new soldiers that aren't clones for the Empire, and he wants to test them out. So he sends them out on a mission that the Bad Batch was originally supposed to do, but never actually completed because they didn't believe in what was going on and they felt tricked. So this new squad goes out there. Crosshair is the one in charge of this group. There's kind of a banter back and forth because there's the people that are with Crosshair are not clones. They are people that signed up to be a part of the Empire. And there's kind of that butting head of the clone. They're trying to replace the clones. So obviously, we must be better than you, kind of a thing. But then we get some interesting dynamics, and this is probably one of the darkest episodes we've ever seen in animation for Star Wars because we see people be slaughtered in cold blood and everything when they get to this camp. But one thing that we get to see is that the troopers don't actually want to follow orders, just like the Bad Batch did. And Crosshair points that out. Why are clones better? Because we follow orders. And he actually kills one of his own people. So yeah, there's one little piece at the end that is interesting, but I'll get into that when we get to my favorite part because I want to speculate a little bit of what that means. So that is the episode in a nutshell, like a really quick nutshell. Like I said, there's two portions of it. There's what's going on with the Empire, what's going on with the Bad Batch. So Sarah, if you had to pick something to be your favorite part from this episode, what would it be?
If I had to pick one thing, I guess it would probably be when Omega was trying to figure out how to get away from the creature that was trying to attack her when she was getting the ship part, and it was attracted to her flashlight, so she tossed the flashlight so it would attack that instead of attacking her. Just that we're learning that she's got this quick wit and is able to pick up on things even though she's just a kid, and I kind of like that.
So I'm actually the other side of the coin for the episode. I actually really enjoyed this one. I actually have two favorite things. So the first one is kind of quick, and that is that one of the reasons why I'm really loving this show is that they're showing us the birth and the growth of the Empire. I love the Empire. I am Team Empire. We have a flag in our front yard of the Empire. Uh, it is so cool to me to see how the Empire started and how it eventually became, this superpower in the galaxy. So it's really cool to see the character development of the Empire take place, especially with Tarkin, since he was one of the characters from the original Star Wars. So I think that's really cool to connect there. But my second thing, which is what I wanted to speculate about when I mentioned the overview, is near the end of the episode, the hopefully I pronounced this right, Kaminoans. I don't know what you want to call them. But
We'll go
Lamu
with it.
too, the guy in charge, is talking to I don't know who his assistant is or his second in command, but he's talking to another Kaminoan person, and basically they know the Empire wants to weed them out. They know that uh, eventually they won't have this contract to sell clones to the Empire, and they mentioned that along with that, the DNA that they have for the clones is kind of deteriorating. It's becoming less and less um, strong, if that's the word for it. Um, it's not as useful. The clones aren't what they used to be, so to speak, because the strand that they use from the host is getting worse and worse and worse. So the speculation is, one, do we think that maybe they're gonna try to clone the Bad Batch, since that's a new set and they have their own individual uh, specialties that they could clone? Or number two, the one that's kind of out there, but it would connect to previous Star Wars stuff, is what if they're trying to clone Jedi? And I say that because if you haven't played the video game in the past, there is a video game called The Force Unleashed 2, where Vader had his secret apprentice cloned by the Kaminoans. And he tried to make the perfect clone Jedi, since it's been said that it's extremely hard to be successful at that. And the reason why I say that it could happen is because I believe in the first episode, when the Bad Batch is arriving on Kamino and they're walking in, there's somebody on a stretcher that is being hauled away as they're walking in, and a lightsaber falls off the stretcher. So it makes me wonder if this is a connection to maybe they're trying to clone Jedi, or if they're trying to eventually clone a Palpatine or clone a Luke. If, for those of you that don't know, before Disney bought Star Wars, cloning the Emperor was a thing, cloning Luke was a thing. And if they're trying to kind of weed back into Star Wars Legends, this could be it. If they've been bringing back characters that they wrote off when Disney purchased Star Wars, if they're trying to do that, this is a way to bring in Starkiller, Vader's secret apprentice. So
Some good speculation.
only time will tell. But we've already seen it already when they brought back Thrawn. He's in Star Wars Rebels. He was something previous, and now he's here. We'll just have to wait and see. But I do have fingers crossed that Starkiller will become part of Star Wars official canon once again, and then maybe we can explore his timeline in the video games again, because they left that on a major cliffhanger too. But yeah, those are my two favorite things: the character development of the Empire and speculation of what this secret project is for the Kaminoans. Because we all know that if Vader wants something done, like if he's trying to clone his apprentice, he'll pay money, and he'll pay a lot of money. And that's what they need. They're worried about their contracts. So yeah, we went over the episode really quick. We both gave our take on the episode. Really nice dynamic between, someone that didn't really care for the episode and one that did. So you kind of got both sides of that coin.
I think part of that is your history with Star Wars is a lot longer than mine. You know a lot more of the lore, so it probably makes more sense to you.
Yeah, like well, when I was watching it, I was like, huh, the, some of these things could be connecting, they could be coming, especially because the guy in charge, Dave Filoni, he is so much like right there with George Lucas. Like I would almost call him George Lucas Jr. As far as the new Star Wars, he is somebody that really wants to abide by what George's vision was. So that could be a reason to believe that some of this stuff is coming that, once was. Yeah, that about wraps it up for this video today. We talked about episode 3 of the Bad Batch, called Replacement or Replacements. I forget if there's an S on the end or not. But make sure to turn on notifications. That way you are alerted when the next Bad Batch discussion drops. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, drop us a like if you like this video, and drop us a comment letting us know your thoughts about the episode. Do you have any speculations of what's going on? Yeah. And then as always, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.